All right. So keeping in line with the fighting games, like we talked about with Invincible Versus, there's been a lot of rumblings that NetherRealm Studios, since they're no longer working on anything else for Mortal Kombat 1, which might be for the best because WB Games has consistently fucked them and a majority of other game creators. There's been a lot of rumbling of if they're already starting on their next project. And a lot of people are leaning towards Injustice 3, which I think a lot of people are excited about. But Matt, you brought up something that it might not be Injustice 3.
Yeah, I don't think it will be because James Gunn, as we know, has kind of taken over the DC universe, and he wants it to be pretty cohesive in terms of not just movies, but movies, TV shows, animation, and video games all being more or less streamlined into one cohesive universe. So I know one thing he's really against, and I think we've seen it kind of with the trailers for the Superman movie, is the kind of idea of the evil Superman being out there not counterbalanced by a better Superman. So the Injustice, I think, really kind of goes against that. I don't think he wants to promote evil Superman anymore. So I'm not so sure we'll get another Injustice game. I'm not ruling out another WB fighting game or DC fighting game, but I think Injustice might, unfortunately, because I really do enjoy those games, have run its course. What do you think about that observation?
I think you could do at least complete the trilogy at the bare minimum, but I do understand why that would not be the case. And it's very clear NetherRealm, Injustice is their real passion project.
Yes, for sure.
But I would love to see it, but I don't think that's going to happen between everything going on at Warner Brothers right now and also James Gunn Vision. So yeah. So here's my take: is that the next project they might do is something they've wanted to do for the longest time: a Warner Brothers horror fighting game.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea when you suggested it, and when we started kind of brainstorming, they have quite a few horror IPs to pull from.
Yeah. So it's funny because you would think Warner Brothers, obviously with a horror fighting game, you can't get everyone because it's going to take a lot to work with the other studios. But having said that, though, Warner Brothers on their own could, in theory, carry a fighting game on their own with just those horror games, and you could have other characters come in as guest characters from other studios. So Matt and I comb through Warner Brothers has a massive list of horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about who could, if NetherRealm Studios made a horror fighting game, who would be in the initial roster from Warner Brothers. And yeah, the big two of the big three are already here. Jason and Freddy. Freddy and Jason are here.
Yeah, you can start off with those two, and it should not be a problem. They've already made both those characters appeared in Mortal Kombat. So if Warner Brothers, in particular NetherRealm, is excuse me, working on this, they should have already models and movesets and stuff that they can pull from that onto.
And also Jason Universe is kind of adjacent to Warner Brothers as it is.
Right. So I think that those two would obviously be your top two you start with, right?
Yeah, Freddy and just have a Freddy versus Jason fight in the trailer, and then have a third character come out and be like, "Oh shit!" And your third character you'd have to appear, Pinhead.
Yeah, Pinhead, of course, was rumored to actually be a cameo that was unused in the movie between the two, a horror icon in his own right.
Dude, could you just imagine this? I'm sorry to cut you off, but could you imagine this trailer? The video game starts with Freddy and Jason fighting, and then chains come out and hold them, and then out steps Pinhead going, "Gentlemen, do we have a problem?"
Yo, it'd be so great. And the play style could be something between.
Hey, is your phone ringing?
Yes, I am sorry.
Oh, okay.
The play style could be something between, for Pinhead, say Scorpion and Quan Chi.
Yeah, use the Deadites as summons.
Yes.
Not Deadites, the Cenobites. Excuse me.
Yeah. You brought up Deadite, so let's go with that.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because it's technically under them, except Army of Darkness. You could get Ash.
Yeah, so I'd love to see Ash. Don't get me wrong. I mean, love to see Ash, but the fact that we couldn't get him in Mortal Kombat 11, worries me because of the rights issue. That being said, there's still a ton of great stuff to draw from the Evil Dead franchise. For instance, like the mom from Evil Dead Rise would be fantastic, I feel like.
Yeah, I think she'd be great. I think also Mia from the remake.
I think Mia would be fantastic. If you couldn't get Mia, I'd be okay with Beth from Evil Dead Rise, but Mia would be my first choice, obviously. So yeah, Evil Dead would be a really good one to tap into, I feel like, and especially have her ready to get Ash.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it, but I think the Mortal Kombat 11 thing might scare him away.
Yeah. Which is weird because he said he signed on like Bruce Campbell signed on without hesitation on Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, it's like you said, I think it has something to do with the Army of Darkness version is where the problem comes in at.
Yeah, but if we do Evil Dead version, I think it'd be fine.
Well, hopefully. Here's hoping, man. Like Ash is my all-time favorite character for anything. So if we could get him into something like this, I would 1,000% be on board with it.
Yeah. So our main that would be the trailer right there, is showcasing Ash, Freddy, Jason, and Pinhead. Right there. Those are your 4 characters you introduce. Now we get to who else could be in this game if we just go by Warner Brothers horror characters. And you may be thinking that's it. Like they only have those 4. Reality is there's more. First off, Wishmaster, the Djinn.
Yeah, it would be a great character, I feel like. Go ahead. I know you're a big Wishmaster fan.
Yeah, the Djinn would be awesome. I think he'd be kind of like a mixture of I think he'd be like a Shang Tsung kind of moveset, like summoning demons, casting magic, teleportation. That'd be really cool. They would have to give these characters fatalities, right?
Oh yeah, I would think so for this type of game. And it's NetherRealm, so I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah. I could easily see that being the case where the fatality could be some kind of dark, twisted wish or something like that. You would have to imagine Pennywise would be in this game, right?
Yeah, a lot of Stephen King films are actually done by WB. Pennywise being the most prominent among them. It's just something they're working on. We know there's a new Welcome to Derry series coming out, so I could definitely see that being a character who makes it in, right?
Yeah, Pennywise would have to, it would make sense to have him in this. It'd be dumb not to. Speaking of others, here's a wild card one that would be cool for a game like this. Kurt Barlow.
Kurt Barlow would be neat. I feel like having a traditional vampire in the game would be cool, but he also looks scary. He's got that Nosferatu type look to him, and Kurt Barlow is from Salem's Lot, by the way.
Yeah.
For anybody who wasn't sure. So I think he would be good. Looking at other Stephen King ones.
You know what would actually be cool, I'm sorry to cut off, but I thought of a cool move that Barlow could do is he bites your neck and drains some of your health to add to his own.
That would be pretty cool, actually, yes. That would be pretty cool.
For other... Oh, sorry.
Go with the Gunslinger from The Dark Tower. I know not the most popular movie, but popular series. And I think they're redoing it on Max soon anyway. What do you think of the Gunslinger from The Dark Tower series?
The Gunslinger would work, but I would say Randall Flagg.
Randall Flagg would be a great pick, too, for sure.
Yeah. Randall Flagg would be cool. I think also Jack Torrance would be a fascinating one.
Jack Torrance would be a very cool one. When it came to mind, what about Rose the Hat?
Rose the Hat is actually one I wasn't thinking of, and that'd be really cool. I could even see adult Danny Torrance.
Yes, I could see that too.
Because you may think he can't fight, but he's pretty powerful with that shine, and he knows how to use guns.
Right. Yes. Exactly. I think he could be a fun character.
Yeah. But Rose would be really cool. You could even use the rest of the True Knot as characters she could have just be assists to her.
Yeah, yes, exactly. They come out and jump on, sort of like in Ninja Turtles, where they all kind of fight as one in Injustice 2.
Yeah. Another character I thought of that would be really fun, that would be another character that would be kind of more of a summon than anything else, is the creep from Creepshow.
That would be very cool. That would be very cool.
Like, he opens up a comic book and out pops one of the monsters.
That would be pretty cool. I'd really like that, actually. How about, I got a couple other characters for you, too. This one, I think, kind of made the pitch to be in Mortal Kombat when it came out. What about Gabriel from Malignant?
Yeah, Gabriel would be a like that, because they love their deep cut horror characters. And Gabriel, that scene in the police station, yeah, he needs to be yeah.
Yeah, that could be a stage actually too, right? Like the police station with the gunted police in the background. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, like stages we'll talk about in a bit, I guess. But like for characters, Gabriel, I didn't think about that one. I would say like what is it? The woman from The Howling. I forget the character's name.
Dee Bradley's character?
Dee Wallace's character, yeah.
Dee Wallace, gotcha, yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Deep cut, Howling. Always, anytime put a werewolf into a fighting game, I'm in. We haven't even touched on the Conjuring universe yet.
No, we haven't. Like, that was kind of saving to that. But Annabelle, I don't think could work. I think what could work is the Crooked Man.
You could definitely work. I feel like the nun character could work as well.
Valak, obviously, like, again, that was a character kind of built. Yeah, Valak would be one. Valak would probably, La Llorona also, even though no one likes that. I've not met anyone who likes La Llorona.
Yeah, I didn't care for it either, honestly. But could definitely make it in there.
She could. I think the moveset, having said all that, no one likes the movie, the character of La Llorona herself would be really solid in a game. Like, you could use the water as a teleport, grab someone and pull them under.
Yeah. Play a character who, like, movie isn't liked can be made up for by a fun moveset in a video game, right? Like, especially not like a DLC. They're just like a base character.
Yeah. Like, also from the Conjuring universe, I'd say there's a demon called Malthus. He's kind of a focal point demon. He'd be kind of cool. He's also he's also the being that in the Conjuring movies possesses Annabelle, the doll. So we could use him as a physical manifestation. I don't know if Ed or Lorraine Warren could work in this game. I don't know what you could do with them.
Yeah, you could maybe like have them use like Annabelle and some of the other crap for their museum for like attacks, but I imagine paying their kid is not going to be easy. Plus, like, the real life Ed and Lorraine Warren are kind of not good people.
Yeah, they're pretty. Let's just call it as is. They're pretty fucking scummy.
Yeah. I got a couple off the wall suggestions for you. So let me know what you think.
Hit me.
I think they could be fun. One would be, what about Jonah Taylor from the Meg? You like the Jason Statham version of him with, like, you got harpoon guns going and he's got the exploding harpoons and all that crazy crap.
I despise the Meg movies, man. I like the book. Like, I just don't I just hate them. And also, Jason Statham just sucks as a human being.
Okay.
I love the books more, even though Steve Alton's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, I have a whole separate thing about him.
Yeah.
Personal.
I would say the Meg as a stage would be cool, like fighting on the oil rig, and you can kick off someone and they just get eaten by the Meg.
All right. Joke character. Movie was terrible, but I liked the premise. What do you think about one of the banana splits from their terrible movie as like a joke character in there?
I think that would be funny. I actually was kind of thinking about that.
Yeah, I think that would be funny. And if you have like your music thing playing in the background, would be kind of funny. It couldn't be just stupid robots like the movie. It have to be more like the old TV show where just like acrobatic crap going on. They're like nuts, like a joke character.
Yeah, I can easily see that. I would even say, see, like, the more like there's a whole rabbit hole of Warner Brothers horror characters that you can go for, that you can pick and choose from.
Yeah, those like some of those deep cuts we're going for. So is 13 Ghosts anybody from there you would take?
Is 13 Ghosts under them?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, yeah, the Jackal.
That would be a cool one, yes. I'd be in for the Jackal. Good choice.
The Jackal or the Juggernaut?
The Juggernaut, also a really good choice.
But if I was to, like, you can only pick one. Like, if someone told me I can only pick one of the 13 Ghosts, it'd be Jackal.
Okay. How about this one? What about Samheim from Trick or Treat?
Sam would be a solid one. Krampus too.
Krampus, that's Universal, isn't it?
Oh, that shit, you're right. That's Universal. Never mind.
Yeah.
But Sam would be really cool. Like, you could throw like something on, like tacks on the floor to like stun your enemies. Also, like pull out different candies out of the bag.
Yeah. Sam would be a ton of fun. One you had mentioned. What about the Lost Boys?
David Powers would be great. Like,
That'd be awesome. I agree.
Yeah, David Powers. Like, his whole stage could be the amusement park in Santa Clara.
Will Smith's character from I Am Legend?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna like go for that, but I wouldn't mind that. I don't know. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm with you. Go ahead.
I don't know if anyone like has cared enough about that movie these days to even bother, but I wouldn't mind it. Excuse me. I think also, like, if we're gonna go by stages, you have to have the Overlook Hotel.
For sure, the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, the Overlook would be cool. What do you think in terms of like stages would you want, and what kind of interactions would you have it like be like Mortal Kombat or Injustice, where you could have like you could punch someone through something and they just end up falling and hitting stuff?
I do think that would be fun, especially because you like, let's say Freddy's and they're gonna have like a dream stage, which you could have a lot of fun with stage transitions. If Jason's in there, probably a campground. You can have fun stage transitions, like you said, like the Meg or Deep Blue Sea could lend itself to a fun stage where the stage hazard with like the sharks. That would be cool. Final Destination is WB. I don't know that I could have that as a character, but for different stages from the movie, like the airplane or something, that would be fun.
I got a perfect one for you. On the Road and the logs. Like, have it be like you're fighting in the middle of the road, and the longer the fight drags out, the more that vision happens. So now you have to like dodge logs and whatnot, or you can grab someone and throw them into the log truck.
Would be cool. I have one idea for a stage that I think would be good representation, because I don't think you could get the character to work in it. What about Skull Island as a stage?
Skull Island would definitely be cool. I don't know if that falls under horror, but to throw someone and then get eaten by a skull crawler.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's like, I think the skull crawlers are horror enough, and if the skull crawler, like, you can toss somebody there and the skull crawler takes them, would be pretty badass. Two characters on the fringe of horror, but I think would be apropos for this game. One has appeared in a good amount of stuff. But if NetherRealm is doing this, do you think Scorpion can make it in as their mascot?
Scorpion, like, I think it, like, Scorpion, if they're going to do guest characters, it would be Mortal Kombat first, because Mortal Kombat's been so tied to horror for so long. I think Scorpion would make it in. If not him, maybe someone like, I don't know if they'd bring in Meat, if they bring back that character.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm dying here. Yeah, that would be cool. But he's kind of obscure.
Hey, is Maniac Cop under Warner Brothers? I forget.
That I do not know. Let me check it out real quick. But what about a character who's long overdue for a fighting game? And we talked about Injustice. Do you think Constantine could sneak in here?
Now, that one we were thinking about. I think DC would be cool with it. I think also James Gunn could be like, yeah, you can do like a horror character. There's enough scary characters, but it'd be a Batman character first.
Maybe Clayface from the upcoming movie?
Clayface is the one I was thinking of, yeah. But Constantine is one I would love to have because again, he has a kind of a horror movie to begin with Keanu Reeves' film.
Yes, yeah, that movie in particular. If you could go with, I know Keanu has not wanted to be in games like that. If you could get his likeness though, it would take not detract from the DCU that's going on. By the way, Maniac Cop is not WB.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to be sure.
Sure. But as I know, it's checked. Yeah, so that would be interesting. Clayface, I think, could be there if we're looking at we know it's an R-rated movie. James Gunn has said that. It'll be a horror type of movie. If we get like I think you had suggested sort of like the hybrid Matt Hagen, Basil Carlo Clayface that we got like the animated series, but ramped up a lot. That could really work.
Yeah, I think like his fatality is he just fills you with clay until you explode.
Which would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else we're forgetting? We don't have a ton of like horror heroes in there aside from like the Evil Dead heroes we had mentioned.
Yeah.
And maybe the Gunslinger.
I would have said, but it's not under Warner Brothers. Is Herbert West, but he's more of an anti-hero. Yeah, there is a lot of like horror heroes you can really band behind in that could actually work. So that's why I think Constantine would be really cool because again, you could have like another horror themed hero.
Right.
Having said that, though, I think you could make the case for Nancy to be in the game.
So I was wondering, one of the final girls, Nancy. What about not two of the best movies? Tommy Jarvis, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say Tommy Jarvis would be cool. You could get the actor back. He's the actor who plays Tommy is always down to play Tommy. Like that's why you see him in so many Friday the 13th fan films.
Yeah.
I think.
What about Laura Park Lincoln's character from the New Blood, the psychic character?
Yeah, Tina. Yeah, Tina would be cool. I think I love characters like her. Enough people like her. I think also it'd be kind of cool to get like some of the Dream Warriors.
The Dream Warriors are my next thought. Yes, those would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say even. Oh God, the Frog Brothers.
Oh, from Lost Boys?
Yeah.
They would be fun. You might get a double dip then, too, of Corey Feldman, if you can get him the voice older Tommy Jarvis, you know?
Well, I mean, like, the actor who plays adult Tommy is still alive, so I don't think that'd be a problem.
Yeah. I can't think of too many others. So Nancy would be a fun one, but I don't know how else she'd fit. Like, she can't take a beating, you know what I mean? But she's iconic, obviously.
I was going to say, like, she could use, like, traps like how she did in the first movie.
Be great as a stage hazard, right? Like, if you're fighting Nancy's house and have all the traps set up, that would be really cool.
Yeah. I would also say, who else would be fun? God, like, if we're talking about like other good guys for these horror movies, man, it's hard to think of. That's why I was thinking of a lot of the final girls.
Yeah, well, like you said, I want to stay away from the Warrens, even though like you could definitely make the case for them.
Yeah, but I can't. Like, I know people can say, "What about the Warrens?" But I'm like, the Warrens are more Exorcist, and that's the other thing. Reagan.
Reagan would be great. Yeah, I think Reagan should be in here for sure.
I would even say like, and I know someone's like, well, what about Father Karras? And I'm like, again, Karras is an exorcist, can't really fight.
Right, which is why I brought up like the Jonah Taylor and stuff, because I was looking for heroes that like could fight in there. From the Lost Boys, like you said, that would be a good one. A couple heroes in there you could pick from.
Yeah.
Man, it really makes it important that you got to get either Ash or then go to Mia to put them in there then, right? Like, I think you got to look there.
Yeah. You have to have Ash in this game, or, yeah, you got to have Ash. Now, for guest characters, it gets a little harder, because it's, like, I don't know what hoops they had to jump to get, like, Ghostface, Jason, and not Jason, but, Leatherface, and feel like I'm forgetting it. Oh yeah, they tried to get Michael, but they just decided not to.
Yeah, and again, as you know, that's where Ash comes in again, because they had Ash all lined up, and then that just fell through. So.
Yeah. So, who do you think would be the easiest to get for guest characters?
That's a good question. I feel like Leatherface might be pretty easy. What do you think?
It depends on where the rights lie, because there is a bidding war going on. But Leatherface, I think, could work. Leatherface might be easy. They could get the remake Leatherface, because Platinum Dunes is under Warner Brothers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so remake Leatherface can be in the game. Hell, you could have some of the Hewitt family too, I think we can't get Arlie Ermy because it wouldn't be fair to have someone voice him. But theoretically you can get Leatherface in this game and have some of the family members. Hell, I think a cool DLC would be Chop Top.
That would be pretty cool. All right, here's a name that Ed Boon himself has made no bones about. He's gone after for a long time and just hasn't been able to nail it down. But if we want a hero, would be perfect for this. Think about Buffy.
Buffy is one he is desperately wanted, and I would totally be fine with it.
Yeah, I don't know how realistic it is. Buffy's technically under Disney now, right?
That's the problem, is that it was under Fox.
Right. So
same with why I don't think we could get Alien and or Predator in this game.
No, totally agree. Totally agree.
Hellboy maybe. I mean, but I don't know if they'd want to reuse him again after Injustice. I would say they could go with to make it interesting. They could do Abe. They could do Rasputin from the Hellboy comics.
True. And then a little bit less well-known characters. What about Cassie Hack?
Cassie, I think, would be one I think they would totally go for.
Yeah, like Buffy-esque, would have a fun moveset, play with the bat, have Vlad as an assist, right? I feel like you could have a lot of fun with Cassie.
Yeah, Cassie would be, if they can't get Buffy, they could totally get Cass. I think Tim Seeley would totally be down for that. You think they could get Art?
That's what I was about to say next. I think they could get Art the Clown, yes.
I feel like Damien Leone would be totally down for it.
I think so. I'll tell you what else. I would go Art and Sienna.
Yeah, I think Sienna could carry herself.
Yeah.
I think Universal would be willing to play ball and let them have Michael.
I think so. Listen, my dream, I don't think it'd happen, would be Universal play ball and let them have Van Helsing, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think they would also be willing. You think Universal would let them have the monsters?
I think they could put in certainly Dracula without it being Universal's Dracula. Obviously, we know that, right? I mean, WB did their own Dracula not too long ago.
Yeah.
Or I guess kind of long ago, but they could do that. If Cassie's in the mix, what do you think about Erica Slaughter from Something's Killing the Children?
I think she has enough popularity to make it. I think it's a cult favorite. It'd be like, I think people are like, who's that? But I think there'd be also another half would be like, holy crap, that's her.
Yeah. I think Cassie's the bigger name. Like, Cassie would be my first choice there, right?
Yeah. Do you think
Witchblade was the other character I thought maybe for a guest?
I did think like Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead would be cool. He was on my potential list too.
Yeah.
Can't think of too many others. Anybody else spring into mind for you?
In terms of guest characters, like the Tall Man.
Tall Man would be cool. Let me throw this to you. Who do you have for a final boss in this game?
The final boss, I would say, my final boss is Pinhead, or Leviathan. Uh-oh. I think we have lost him again. Matt, you there? We're so professional on this channel. Matt? You there? Ah, crap. Technical difficulties continue to plague us.
Yeah, it's not been our day.
Yeah.
I was pretty much done. I think that's a good final boss.
No, I didn't even hear you.
I think Pinhead is a good final boss, like you said.
Yeah, I was also saying, like, Leviathan.
Oh, that's a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many other people that I would...
Well, let me throw out this one, and this could be, like, the story. Like, how about we introduce a character, because it is Dark Tower. If we're having a Dark Tower character, what if we use the Crimson King?
That would be cool. That would be very cool, actually. And he'd be powerful enough and imposing enough to work as the final boss.
Yeah. He's like the end-all, be-all of evil to begin with. He is the...
Yes.
So, yeah, let's have the Crimson King, and you could have it, like, tie into Dark Tower, where the Crimson King's like, I'm just gonna let all these horrible monsters out, and the gunsling... You could have it, like, be a mixture of, like, Mortal Kombat meets Secret Wars, where, like, the gunslinger now has to, like, put together his own crew of horrible monsters to help combat them.
I like that idea, actually, quite a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, and have maybe Pinhead turned against Leviathan and now serves the Crimson King.
I like that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. So that's mine. Who would you have as the final boss?
Oh, jeez, that is a really good question. My initial thought was to have just sort of an undefined devil character, like from the background of The Conjuring, but I like yours better.
Okay. Plus, it would be kind of cool to, like, introduce that character in like physical form, because we never see him we've never seen the Crimson King in physical media. So I think that have a video game where you have to fight him, I think would be really cool.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. So there you go. Any final thoughts, Matt?
No, I think it was really fun. Thank you for having me do this with you.
All right. So you guys tell us in the comments below what character, if Warner Brothers does go ahead with this fight, NetherRealm and Warner Brothers come together for this fighting game, which has been talked about for decades. Let us know in the comments below who would you want to have in the game, what guest characters would you want to have, what stages, all that good stuff. Just comment below, let us know. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.